And a good Sunday afternoon to you, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda, all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Big picture right now, we have kind of a zonal flow with kind of a flat ridge over most of the lower 48 United States. And with that, you can see a little bit of precipitation off the northeast coast here over toward New Brunswick, near Nova Scotia. This is an ocean storm system. This is the old frontal boundary. This is actually what went through earlier in the week. And this system is in such a position being blocked by some high latitude blocking here. You can see even a series of another area of low pressure. And the combination of these two is kind of a logjam in the weather pattern. So nothing is moving right over Vermont, and consequently we have a little bit of cloud cover kind of stripping in across the far northern areas and pushing into the state of Vermont. Temperature-wise, it's cold off to the north and east of us, and certainly into Canada. Things are warming up near the U.S.-Canadian border, and to the west and south it's actually warmed up pretty spring-like. But this weather system here is going to bring in slightly cooler air after a pretty decent Sunday today, and a little bit of high fire danger. Now this weather system will back in. It'll also give us a kind of a shot of a little bit more of a shot of wind out of the north and northwest, approaching thresholds. But we're talking about the upper mountain summits of mainly the central and northern Green Mountains. That'll take place Monday afternoon. Then Monday evening into Monday night, the first half of Tuesday, we can see a little bit of precipitation actually edging into our neck of the woods. Mainly along the northern tier of the Northeast Kingdom, probably not getting down into central and southern parts of Vermont, a little bit in the northern Champlain Valley and adjacent Quebec, New Hampshire. And then even with this, overnight, it'll be cold enough to have a little bit of wet snow coating. So we're not done with precipitation this week as it looks right now. We need the much needed rain, and things are very, very dry and with high fire danger looming, especially ahead as soil moistures continue to dry out, fuels dry out. At least we see relative humidity is not super duper low at this point, but fire danger is definitely coming into play, and we are getting into Vermont's fire season. This is our weather system currently south of Nova Scotia, pushing in again that frontal boundary with that moisture swinging in, and then this is going to wrap to the west as we run the model. It's cold enough to snow aloft right now. Warm enough to rain, of course, all over just about coast to coast at this point, except for the northeast United States, adjacent Canada, so forth and so on. But this is our weather system. It's going to push back into Vermont. Here we go. And you can kind of see that getting into the Northeast Kingdom. Now, this is the 00Z run earlier this morning. All the computer models have been fairly consistent, getting just a little bit of moisture. The possibility, though, is that this could dry out before reaching us, so it may or may not happen. It's kind of a low confidence kind of forecast here, but this is our area of low pressure that does a loop-de-loop and then heads back a little bit out to sea. Things dry out meanwhile in Vermont as everything pushes off to the east. This is valid into Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, and now Tuesday evening. Things dry out again. This weather system is kind of running into a kind of a weak area of higher pressure, and again this logjam and the jet stream flow really south of the high latitude blocking in Greenland is really kind of controlling the influence of our weather. But notice this system tries to get in here. It's not going to make it. This is late in the week on Friday afternoon. So it's dry, and temperatures moderate as we head toward this coming next weekend. And you can see that just maybe a little bit on Tuesday gets into the region, but this is kind of very chancy. This is a GFS ensemble centered on Montpelier, Vermont, of course. And what we're looking at here is that chance for a little bit of spotty shower, wet snow for basically Monday night into Tuesday. And then some other hints of some chances here by the GFS ensemble with Canadian as well. But really not anticipating this. The European kind of does dry us out, but we'll have to wait and see how that works out. Meanwhile, all that QPF is not really going to amount to very much. As you can see here, we're barely registering 1/10 of an inch, and this is going out 7-8 days. Weather Prediction Center, same kind of deal here. We're looking at about 1/100 of an inch or less than that. Northeast Kingdom mainly, very dry conditions. Storm systems, the main action is going to be off to the west of us, suppressed with the concept of that high latitude blocking over Greenland and kind of forcing the issue and just kind of keeping things where they are. Weather Analyzer kind of illustrates the point here. We got a little bit colder than normal weather in the eastern part of Quebec, and that stretches in kind of along the east coast and into the south coast. Much warmer than normal conditions are basically in a good portion of the country here. It's kind of 50-50 right now, with the Arctic actually being 0.9 of a degree below normal. So they're actually seeing a pretty strong polar vortex, and colder weather is being hugged up in this general area. But there is some high latitude blocking over Greenland, kind of forcing the issue, and that's what's kind of jamming up the log jam here. 2-meter temperatures of the Jeffs, but better illustrate the point. This is our dew point temperatures, and notice how dry it is today. Today we have the highest fire danger of any day this week. However, we do have this warming trend. The other indications are at 850 hectopascal. If it were to precipitate, it would be cold enough for snow. When we cross the 0-degree centigrade line, the freezing line, 32 Fahrenheit, it would be warm enough for a little bit of rain later on. But that is not really going to happen because things are just so dry. This is our, of course, Moss 5-day maximum high temperatures, and once again we're starting to add warmer than normal weather here, and about 3 days later that's what it looks like. Look at that, we really jumped the gun. Things do warm up. We're looking at some springtime weather. This will exacerbate the fire season, especially if we don't get any precipitation. It's looking mighty dry. Speaking of which, looking at recorded precipitation from the River Forecast Center, let's take Addison County for this particular thing. What you can see here, this is our basically month to date. For this month of April, we've had around 31/100ths of an inch, but notice we're barely at 100% here for this basically month to date. Now for the 30-day period, you can see that we're below normal for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, year to date, 365 days back, and then the water year, which is July 1st to July 1st. The only thing we've actually made up here, and looking at this particular Addison County, is basically the month to date, and that's not a lot. Now Addison County did make up a little bit, but notice Bennington County very much well below normal in temperature, precipitation having fallen. Grand Isle County exceeded expectations. Lamoille County pretty good as well. Orange County not bad. Let's see, we're talking Essex County, Franklin County, Grand Isle, Lamoille County, very good. Orange County, not doing quite as good. Orleans County, almost double the precipitation there. Rutland County, you missed on out. Washington County, we got into a little bit of that. Windham County, very low precipitation. In Windsor County, southern Vermont is definitely trending with moderate drought. And this is last week versus a week ago, 2 weeks ago basically. And this is again moderate drought. We're seeing here with abnormally dry conditions across parts of the Champlain Valley, northern and western parts of Vermont. And this was 2 weeks ago. This is our current readings here. Thanks for watching. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.